The last one I did sucked.
The ChatGPT one?
Yeah.
I was like,
It was so
wait.
long. I hated
said,
it.
wait, I actually don't like this
I
anyways.
actually hated it. You know what? Yeah, I don't think it's really me to have an intro, so I'm just not going to do one. But we're here today with my friend, Rylee.
Hello, I am here.
Talk about yourself a little bit. Let's hear a short summary.
Ooh, so I'm Rylee. I met Emma actually randomly through Instagram. I had one class in high school with Luke, and we had drama 2 together. He was a senior and I was a freshman. And so like I knew who he was, but we never talked outside of school or anything. Like literally outside we didn't even talk in the class. Like I just like knew who he was. And then I like had stalked your page when you'd gotten married, and I was like, "Wait, she's so pretty." And I like looked at all your vendors and everything, and I was like, "Wait, this is so cool."
I'm dead.
And then one day I was like, I should meet this girl and talk to her because I'm in a pretty serious relationship right now, and so I was like, let's talk. And so then I reached out to her through her DMs, and here we are.
She slid in my DMs for real.
Yeah.
What's your current season kind of look like right now?
Right now, I am in cosmetology school and working, so just kind of on that grind. I finished cosmetology school in May, so I'm kind of pursuing that path of doing hair, hoping to eventually do like wedding hair, but right now I'm just focusing on getting my certification. And right now I'm just in a season of kind of adjustment. I'm kind of in a middle season of not really knowing what's next, but still getting into the flow of living on my own and outside of my parents' house. So yeah.
Yeah, sounds like a sweet time. So I created a question for every guest. Sorry, Skylar. But I want to hear your like, hold on. I wrote a really good way of saying this. I want to hear your coffee order, but like ultra specific. Like your favorite coffee shop, like I don't know, like a certain vibe. That's what's your like favorite coffee order?
My okay, I don't normally get this, but this is one specific coffee I can never forget. It was in Knoxville, Tennessee from Reef Coffee. And this shop is so weird. It's right next door to a Goodwill, and it like partially a coffee shop, partially like a bike shop, like
Mm-hmm.
outdoor bikes. And they somehow managed to fuse the two. They're owned by the same person. Like they had this wild idea and it works, I guess. And they have like the best beans ever. So it's a small cappuccino, which I don't normally get. It was very
Mm-hmm.
random. And then I sub it for oat milk and then 1 pump of vanilla and 2 packs of sugar. Like it's so random, but it was so good. And I kept the receipt and I will never forget it. It was so good.
Lives rent free.
I think about it almost every day. I'm actually gonna have Boston send me some beans because they have like a specific brand. It's called Vienna beans, and it's so good.
So
And so
good.
I'm gonna have him send me some so I can make it at
You
home.
gotta try and make it at home. Well, Rylee and I wanted to talk about pruning season. Gosh, this is bright. We're filming at night. This is the first time I've filmed this at night, and
You
so
wouldn't know.
I'm
But it's
learning.
quite bright.
It's actually quite bright. I hope these ring lights last, or we're actually screwed.
We're in the dark.
But yeah, we want to talk about pruning season because one of those times that, or the first time that we met, that was something that we kind of dabbled in talking about, and I feel like I've seen grow a little bit in Rylee's life to see her learn about, and it's just one of my favorite things to talk about, and one of the first things that I really like learned when I started walking in faith. So we were like, you know what? Let's chat about that today. So one might ask, what is pruning
What
season?
does it mean to prune?
What is pruning season? Well, I mean, pruning is, if you're not a gardener, it's a gardening term. So if you have a tree and you don't actually like cut off some of the branches, you just let it grow and go wild, it's not going to bear good fruit. It's going to be, I would like to think of it as like a bunch of small fruit that aren't actually good, or like shriveled up fruit. Just all of the sugar and whatever is being spread into a bunch of small things instead of growing into thicker branches and vines.
Yeah.
So when you prune a tree or a bush or something, you want to cut off the smaller leaves or like lower to like let them grow more to bear better fruit.
Yeah,
if
it's
that
not
makes
always
sense.
it's sometimes that the bad fruit is affecting like the good fruit, so you have to prune the bad fruit, but it's not always that the leaves or the fruit that you're pruning is bad
Bad.
necessarily. It's
Hmm.
just to make room for new growth.
Yeah. And it doesn't even have to prune. You can even prune other fruits in your life, even if they aren't necessarily rotten,
Yeah.
too, as well. So, in connection with
We're just gonna
life,
we're not gardeners. This is not a gardening talk. They're like,
no,
okay, where you lost me.
and Luke does bonsai trees, fun fact. But, anyways, in connection of that into actual life, I'm sure you could see where this is leading, but I'm sure there are times in your life where you're like, why am I losing all of these things around me? Or why does it feel like I've lost so many friends? Why did I lose this job? Like, feeling like you've lost things and changing that mindset into thinking about them just being pruned in your
Mm.
life and stuff. So, we'll be just diving a lot deeper into that.
Yeah, and like it's not always a bad thing. It can feel like, why is God allowing all this stuff to happen? Why are these things being taken out of my life? Why are people doing X, Y, and Z? And we don't always see the bigger picture, so we just have to see it as a season.
Yeah, true. A season, another term that not everyone may know. I mean, I don't, a season of life is just kind of like, where am I at right now? What am I learning, going through? Like,
Not the weather.
not the weather, but kind of, kind of. I mean, what would I say? Like, engagement season. Guess I already posted one called engagement
Yeah.
season, but like, the season of engagement is such like a big and defining thing, but you can also be going through a season of depression. You can be going through um a season of consolation, desolation, just kind of like, what's the vibe of your life right then?
Yeah.
What's
That's a
going
good way to
on?
put it.
Yay!
What are we feeling? What
Yeah,
are we
what's the vibe of life? Well, I did want to read a couple of passages kind of that talk about fruit. And first I'm gonna read Matthew 7:15, and then Riley will read probably the other one.
Yeah,
That the one that Riley's gonna read has definitely a lot more
fruit
specifically about
focused.
pruning. Mine talks about fruit a little bit, but so Matthew 7:15, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. You will recognize them by their fruits. Are grapes gathered from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? So every healthy tree bears good fruit, but the diseased trees bears bad fruit. A healthy tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a diseased tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus you will recognize them by their fruits.
And then mine is John 15, 1 through 8, which is a pretty well known passage, I would say. And it says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away, and every branch that does not bear fruit, he prunes, that it may not bear more fruit. Already you are clean because of the word that I have spoken to you. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me, and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. If anyone does not abide in me, he is thrown away like a branch and withers, and the branches are gathered, thrown into the fire, and burned. If you abide in me, and my words abide in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. By this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit, and so prove to be my disciple.
Abide. I love
Abide
that
is my word for
word.
this year.
Really?
Yeah,
I love that word a lot.
yeah, the abide in me and I in you is literally like written on it was a Bible my mom got me 2 years ago, and she
Mm-hmm.
got it for me for Christmas, and it says it like on the front cover, and then it's like art, and then on the inside it's like the whole verse. It's
Wow.
so cute.
That's so fun. I love that word a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the first one, the one that I read, is kind of a better explanation of like, think of yourself as the tree. Are you bearing good fruit or are you bearing bad fruit?
Yeah.
And the
What
Lord's
fruit
gonna
are you
help prune
bearing?
you to help bear good fruit.
Bears and fruits.
Anyways,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's what fruit are you bearing? You're always bearing fruit. That's something I don't think I ever realized for a while.
or
That was
growing
like
fruit.
right. You always have fruit, whatever is in your heart is going to show.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you choose that to be the Lord or whether you choose that to be things of the world, like it shows. It's not
Mm-hmm.
hidden. So,
I love to think of like lives and spiritual life and just everything as as a tree, because I feel like there's been some times in like my faith where I'm like, I'm just learning a lot and I'm not seeing all of the fruit be bare, or I have all of this fruit and it's not being reaped.
yeah.
I'm like, I right now I actually feel like I'm in a season where a lot of the fruit that I have is like going into good places. But
Hmm.
there's been times where I've been like, I have all of this to share and absolutely nowhere that it's going. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like these two passages in particular have been such a great faith founding
Mm.
mindset,
Hmm.
that just like keeps growing and making connections throughout everything. But do you have an example of pruning season in your life?
Yeah. So I think more recently is my more prominent, like personal pruning season that's been affecting like just me personally. After like graduating high school, every friend group shifts. Like there's friend group dynamics, every relationship shifts. But I've had a few of my closest friends in particular just continually pursue lifestyles that aren't necessarily glorifying to the Lord, and I don't necessarily want to partake in or model after. That's caused us to grow apart, and it's not as though there's a difference between like fighting for the friendship and like allowing the Lord to take it. And I think that this is a season of just like the Lord saying like, I have better for you. Like you are continuing that word abide. Like if you are really truly abiding in me, like I'm going to take these things that don't grow me closer to you and don't grow you closer to me, and that has to be okay. And so it's a season of shifting those dynamics, shifting those friend groups, and not necessarily losing the friendships completely. It's just they aren't necessarily my number one anymore. And which is different from like when I used to move when I was younger and like move schools and it's like, oh no, I'm not friends with them anymore. Like that's not necessarily the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like more of a spiritual thing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, but that's where I'm at currently with my pruning season. What about yours?
The one in particular, that the one that like I really learned like when I in one of my Bible times read one of these passages and like everything fell together. I'm even having a hard time. I literally, you were talking and I was like, wait, even what is my story? I don't
Mm.
remember. But I do remember it was kind of when I was coming out of my depression of that era. A couple of coworkers got fired, and they were two people that we I worked at a Christian coffee shop, and they were two people that weren't believers, but a lot of us had really been trying to like show what true authentic life with Christ was, because
Yeah.
they had just been hurt or like shown really poorly. And so that was kind of hard to like watch them get fired by a Christian company, and just the whole thing was really messy. And so that was a hard thing of like just losing those like friends, and also like just that opportunity to like be a witness.
Mm.
And I also remember at the time, I think that was when my acceptance got revoked from Fresno State. Basically, I had been going to Clovis Community, going to see my counselor every single time. What classes do I need to take? Never once did I hear that core 4 classes to transfer was a thing, but
No.
apparently it is. And so I get so salty about this. I get so salty, it's actually ridiculous. I was trying out for cheer, and I had gotten all of my tumbling back. I'd done so many things to get back into shape. I was at tryouts and I was flying and I was doing the best that I had ever done, literally at my peak of being a cheerleader. And on the day before tryouts, I had gotten an email that's like, your acceptance is revoked. You didn't have like all the classes that you needed. Which, why did you accept me in the first place? You should have checked that. I literally
Don't get
shouldn't
my
have
hopes
gotten
up.
accepted. Yeah, exactly. So I got my acceptance revoked and I was so upset. And I actually went to like the one of the dean, I went to something, and I wish I would have been recording, because he told me, oh yeah, that sucks, well there's nothing really that we can do. but you're trying out for cheer, you said, right? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, well, if you make cheer, then you can come to school. I'm being so dead serious. Literally,
Doesn't favor athleticism.
shadiest thing
Who?
I've ever heard. The cheer team isn't even that good, sir.
Yeah.
Get out. Yeah, but
Well,
long
if you
story
make
short,
it.
I didn't make it, and I was so sad because people made it over me that shouldn't have made it over
Mm-hmm.
me, and so none of it could be explained except for the Lord was like, "That is not where I want you to be.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Oh.
allow you to pursue this because I have other things going on for you," which I'm very glad for. That was one of the things, and there were other things going on with like family and stuff and just like other areas that I was trying to pursue just weren't working out, or friends that I was losing and all of that stuff, and it was kind of all at once. And I remember reading this and being like, oh, like the Lord is just pruning all of these things so I can bear more fruit. And it was around going through all of that is literally what helped me get out of depression too. And so, yeah, it ended up being a really, really sweet thing. That was literally back in like 2023. So I don't remember all of the nitty gritty details like I wish that I did. But
That can be hard too when all the doors are closing and you're like, why are these doors closing? Like, come on,
yes.
I have the fruit. Hey.
Yes. Actually, that reminds me. Then once I flash forward, actually am at Fresno State, gone through another semester for one stupid class and gone back to Fresno State. The entire semester felt like I was going against the current of a stream.
Mm,
Like, school's never been hard for me. My classes weren't hard. Like, I loved what I was doing. I was in my major, whatever. But it was just so difficult for me to get through that season. And so, as the school year came to an end, which I finished with all A's, like, it wasn't an issue. But as the school year came to an end, I was like, why did this feel so hard? Instantly, the Lord was like, because you're not supposed to be there.
oh, mic drop.
What do you mean I'm supposed to not go to college? Isn't this what we're
That's
taught
what
to do our
everyone
entire
does.
life? Yeah.
Everyone's like, I'm
And
preparing you for high school. And then in high school, they're like, I'm preparing you for
exactly,
college. And college, they're like, I'm preparing you for real life. And it's like, wait,
literally,
when does it stop?
I know. And it's just school and school and school. Yeah. Anyways, so I was like, okay, I wonder what it would look like for me to not go to school. So I talked to my mentor about it and she was like, oh, absolutely. The Lord is definitely calling you to like not go to school. Literally prunes school from my life. And I was like,
Hey.
oh, okay. So I was like, well, I guess we're just gonna start getting into interior design. And so I that's basically how I got my job now, which now
Yeah.
I'm a project coordinator and just I've been there for over a year, which is super amazing. Actually, oh my gosh, a year and a half. Fun fact, this
Dang.
sounds really bad, but that's the longest I've actually held a job.
Oh
I've
goodness.
all of my jobs I've held for literally just over a year. Like Cuppa was a year to date. Starbucks was like a year and a week. Like
That's
all of them were like a
funny.
year. But yeah, but I don't plan on leaving this anytime soon. But yeah, the Lord was like, yeah, I have a place exactly for you and
Mm.
you're going to bear so much fruit here. So
But you had
that's
to go
been
through that
another
season
sweet
of all
thing.
the doors being closed in order to get to the
Exactly.
right door.
Yeah, exactly. Closing the door that you're like, what do you mean? Like,
Hey, I'm gonna try knocking again. Let's
God,
see.
what? Literally. I found like just being willing in that too is just so sweet of like, all right then. Like I feel like the times that a pruning season has gone the easiest was when I was like, okay. And I just
Mm,
go with it. Because I feel like trying to be like, no, like keep pursuing the things that like you had always planned for your life and all of these things and really pushing in that where being open learning how to be open-handed in life, which is very hard for someone who tends to control or struggles with control,
mm.
me. But
Yep. Retweet that one.
can be a really sweet thing because when you're willing and walking out life in constant step with the Lord, you're walking through his will for you and
Mm,
it's easier.
yeah.
It's easier than when you go on your own tangents and then you're in the dark and then
You're like, hey,
you're
wait, how'd I get
yeah,
here?
exactly. Wait a minute.
At least when you don't understand what God's doing, there's the light. He's like, hey, just
Exactly.
walk this way, and you're like, okay.
I like to think about it like fog actually, which is very
Fitting.
yeah, fitting to right now. Um, but I've actually found even peace just like driving in the fog because I like to call it God fog of like sometimes you're going to go through seasons where the fog is really thick and you literally don't know where you're going. All you know is that you're following the Lord
Mm,
and keeping on his path as much as you possibly can and he'll end up clearing it or not, but when no matter what, like you're following him and he has you
yeah.
no matter what, even in the fog where it's terrifying
He'll
and
get
you
to the right
literally can't
place.
see, he's still there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's so
you'll
good.
get to the right place. Yeah,
It's more trustworthy than my headlights because
I
they don't go
know,
very far.
bro. I cannot. The fog has been insane.
Driving in the country to get home, I'm like literally my face is
Yes.
against the wheel staring to see how far I
Yes,
can see.
literally, when Luke lived in Tesoro Viejo, we had like the fog was so bad. He would not be able to see the light like at all. He'd
Oof.
have to like slam on his brakes. Yeah, it
Oh,
gets super
that's so
bad over
good.
there. Yeah, we would drive that. Anyways, side tangent. Just a good note too is like the Lord doesn't do it because he hates you. He's doing it because he loves you.
Because he loves you so much that he's like, nope, that's not for you. And you're like,
Exactly. It's like
please.
he also just knows what's ahead of you and you don't. He's going to take away certain things because of the future that you have and the will that he knows where he wants you to be. And that thing just isn't in it. And that's not going to, I mean, imagine what I would be like right now if I had gone back to cheer at Fresno State.
Probably not right here.
Not the
Right
same.
now.
Yeah, no, probably not. Definitely a loving thing, I think, a lot of times, especially in an early Christian faith, going through a pruning season where you're like, God, what the heck? Like, this literally sucks. Following you is so hard. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a hard season to go through if you're alone, holding so tightly to the things that you want.
It's challenging, especially when this is like what you thought you wanted or what you thought the Lord had for you. And then he's like, yeah, no, not right now, not for you. And you're like, wait, but you gave me this. And so that's definitely, especially with friends, that's like hard.
I was literally just gonna
Yeah.
say, especially with friends. Yeah. Which, hey,
Hey,
what a good transition!
you see what I did there? Yeah, especially with friends, because you can have really good friends that are meant to be in your life for a season and not forever. And that's something I've been learning that's hard because you're like, well, these people were so good for me. They were there for me in these hard seasons. They were there for me when I needed them, and now they're not. So it's not that they're bad friends necessarily. It's just they're not meant for this season.
That's true. And then there's also different forms of this because sometimes it's like you where it's just a different lifestyle of like they're non-believers ish or just pursuing more things of the world than you, and that's okay to walk different ways because if what looking like hanging out looks different for you than it does for them, that's literally just a friendship where A and B doesn't equal C because they just aren't adding up at all. It's just different. I feel like for me, I've lost plenty of friends in the past, but in a variety of different ways. But I feel like the example that I should share right now is like learning to just be willing in the friendships that the Lord has brought me and staying open handed with them. It's been so much easier for me to go through friendships because I feel like before Christ, it was like, oh, there's some kind of falling out or.
It has to be drama.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we haven't hung out in so long. Like, what is this? Like, no, the people around me are just like, yeah, life is busy and like, or like we're living different seasons. Like, it's okay. And then we see each other and we're like, oh my gosh, this is great. Like, love you, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you can be in different seasons and it be okay. And they can still be good friends and it doesn't mean anything against them. But being in different seasons can mean different things for your friendship.
You can just have different intentionalities. Intentionalities with your friendships.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the same best friend. Like, you don't have to have the same, I need to see them every day. I need to call them every day, text them every day. Like, it's okay for them to not be your number one friend. And that doesn't mean you're not friends at all.
Exactly. I honestly don't feel like I've had a best friend my entire walk with Christ, except for Luke. Luke is my best friend.
That kind of works out.
He's my best friend. But, I mean, I couldn't tell you who, like, my number one, like, best friend would have been. I haven't had one person's where we're each other's, like, go and talk to all the time. I just think it's such, like, a term that has so much weight to it that's so dumb. Yeah. There's so much, like, put onto it. It's such a, like, I have to have a best friend. Who's my best friend right now? Like,
yeah, I think that's even just like taught to us when we were kids. Like every movie, every TV show had like the main character and her best friend. It's like you must have a best friend who does everything with you, who you can call at any time, and you don't have to have that.
You don't have to have that. Not everyone does. No hate to anyone that does have a best friend.
We
that
love
they've
best
had
friends
since elementary school.
We love that.
Literally so good for you. Good for you. I love that for you. I haven't really got that. But I
Yeah.
do have such sweet relationships
Yeah.
and a bunch of deeper relationships with a bunch of different people. And it's just been such a sweet thing. I think that always growing your friendships deeper, no matter what it looks like, just constantly having a growing, deepening friendship is what I would call a good friendship,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
an
As long as
acquaintance.
you both give, you both take, you both are very, I don't want to say intentional again,
You
but
can. That's literally why this is called intentionality. You literally have to.
why you're if you're both very intentional in the relationship, that means like showing up for each other when you need each other, but not necessarily calling every single day. Like as long as you are
Exactly.
both on the right track and both pursuing the Lord, like
Hmm.
ultimately, what a blessed friendship, what a blessed
Literally.
relationship to have.
And you can have friends for different aspects. Like I have some really good friends that are in long-term relationships or now are married too, and I have friends that are single. And so when I'm going through something where it's
Mm,
like this is a marriage thing, it's like I'm going to talk to my friends that have been in long-term or married too because they understand. For the longest time in Luke and I's relationship, I didn't have anyone else in my life that was in a long-term relationship. So a lot of my friends just wouldn't know what to say or I
yeah,
would get bad advice from
yeah.
because they didn't understand.
Well,
And
and
so
bad
that just
advice
felt
can
so
come
lonely.
from bad advice can come from good
It can
intentions.
come from good heart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if even if you don't understand, it's not like they're trying to ruin your marriage or
Yeah, they're
anything. Like
trying to help you.
right,
They're trying.
but what is it like in Job when they everything's fine until they open their mouth because they don't understand. It's like, oh,
Exactly.
should not have opened your mouth. Like wrong person.
Yeah, exactly. And also, it's okay to not always know what to say to someone as long as you can offer prayer.
Yeah,
Yeah, and be
you can
kind.
say I don't know. That's okay. It's
I think
actually appreciated.
appreciated. Yeah, literally. Like, thank you for the honesty. I'd rather someone be like, I honestly don't know what's any aspect of like what I could point you to so that I don't give you the worst advice
Mm,
ever. Just, yeah. Or just pray yourself and be like, Lord, what do you want to tell this person right now? Please, like, share it through me or
give
me
them the thought.
direct
Yeah.
them, yeah, to the right place. I think a good thing to know about pruning seasons is to discern in them and also to learn in them.
Discern and
Hmm.
learn. We're Dr. Seuss over here. Discern and
Stop.
learn.
Discern and learn. I feel like because it can be, I'm definitely not saying that the second something seems like it's leaving from your life to be like, oh, all right, pruned, goodbye, like
Right.
leaving too fast. I think there's definitely a good level of learning how to be discerning. Oh
Hmm.
gosh, here we go again. Oh no. But yeah, I think learning in your pruning season, especially, but being able to discern, like, is this the Lord or is this a relationship that I should try in? Like,
Yeah.
because I feel like with you, it's a good example of like you did try, you dabbled in it
Mm,
a little bit, you kind of pushed into it a little bit, you leaned into it, you prayed about it, and you were like, this is a relationship the Lord is pruning, and so I'm going to be okay with that.
yeah. Yeah. And it's not necessarily the aspect of, like you said, like, oh, we're getting distant. Oh, time to quit. It's not about quitting. It's about putting in the effort and being prayerful through it all and just like trusting that the Lord has you. Because if you are losing friends, like that's never easy. I'm not saying like you should be happy that people are being removed from your life like that. Sure, from a
I'm so dead.
bird's eye view, but like in the moment it's hard and it sucks, especially in such lonely seasons of
Mm-hmm.
not having anyone, not necessarily even having a best friend. Like that it's hard when you're like, okay, want to go talk to someone, and like my husband or my boyfriend is great, but like I want someone to talk to. It's not.
You always need your girls.
You
You
do.
always need, if you have a boyfriend or you have a spouse, you still need your girls. You
Yeah,
need
they are
good
not a
community.
replacement.
They
They
are not a replacement. It's so important to have special girl time and girlfriends.
Yeah, and so I think there's a certain amount of effort, and the line is that's between you and the Lord, like where that line is of putting in the effort, really trying for that relationship, always staying prayerful about it, and then take an honest reflection of like, if this relationship were to continue, would I even value it?
Is
Like,
it
would
going
it?
to bring me life? Is it going to
Mm,
bring them
is
life?
it going to
Is
pour
it
into
going,
either of you?
yeah, is this going to even go anywhere for both of us? Is this going to turn into a toxic friendship because we're going different ways and for the sake of needing a best friend, I'm going to keep pushing into it, but it's just toxic? No, that's
Clocked.
not good for either of you.
Yeah.
Literally.
Discernment only comes from the Lord. Like you can't there's no book you can read and be like, aha,
How
I
to
now
have
have discernment.
Yeah, no.
The biggest thing is just praying through it and
Mm-hmm.
putting in the effort and being a good friend and still never being rude and never being flippant.
Yes.
As long as you aren't either of those things, figuring it out, like it'll work out.
It will. Another thing too, when it comes to friends, is just quality over quantity. I feel like it's kind of just a good sum up of everything that we were just saying.
Yeah.
But having a good community of people around you, whether that's a bigger friend group or just like your girls that you know that you can go to, I feel like growing an actual community of people around you where it's like these people I'm kind of close to and these other people that I am more close to, or whether that's your life group or friend group, or sometimes you have a little bit of that, but growing a good community around you of like, who are my people? I think this is one thing that I thought about, I think a lot last year, was 3, 12, and 30. So you have like, if you think about them in like circles,
Okay.
it's like I have the 3 closest people around me. It's like something happens, like they know me the best. Like this is who I'm going to seek for godly wisdom. X, Y, and Z is your 3. Your 12 are like your other good friends too. Like, they still know pretty much everything about me, but like
They're not the
if
first
I'm
person.
in crisis,
Yeah.
they're not my first person. Exactly. And it's a no hate, no shade, nothing at all. It's just how it is. And you have yours too. And then 30 is like your acquaintances, the people that are around you that you really care about, but they're not as close and they might not know everything about you, but like they're down to get a sum up every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I definitely went through a season where I really, especially when it came to like bridesmaids and stuff too, where like I really had to think about that, or engagement season where I didn't have enough to pour into everybody. Like I was just really having to think about my friendships a lot of like, what do I have the capacity for? Who is bringing me life? Who is for me? And like, what do these look like? But yeah, that was just a different season, but definitely a good thing to think about if you're overwhelmed or like really trying to think about what your community looks like too.
Yeah. I think for so long I had an emphasis on, I need a big friend group. And I think social media has definitely influenced that so much. The need for a big friend group that is super close all the time, besties for the resties, hangs out every day. Like, and just, I was so striving for the big friend group that when I got into a friend group that wasn't necessarily all friends, it was just people, I was literally just a person in the room. Like, if I walked away, nobody noticed. If I was there, like I talked to one person and the rest kind of, it's just, it never worked. I was so focused on the quantity versus the quality, and I'd much rather have like the 3 small close friends than
exactly
trying to fit all 30 of those people into my small circle.
Exactly. And like growing a community like plants, like growing relationships and growing a community together, it will foster itself and it will grow to be something so beautiful.
Yeah.
Say you are in a pruning season. What do I do? Here are our favorite tips.
Here are our welcome to Tips with Emma and Rylee.
Of pruning season. Number 1, I feel like we did kind of touch on these all
throughout
the
experiences.
Yeah. But be obedient. I feel like obedient is such a good word in a pruning season, specifically of like wanting to not quite let go of the control of these things that you have in your life, but just being obedient to the Lord even when those things can be really hard to give up, really hard to walk away. There could be people listening or even just like in the future where you go through a pruning season that is really hard. Like imagine losing like your home. Like imagine losing like a spouse, like they cheated on you, like something crazy, like being obedient even in the hardest of emotions, the hardest of situations. The Lord is going to be calling you closer and deeper, and he's going to be right there with you even if it's difficult.
It's like in John, abide. You just have to, he's got you. Like he already knows exactly what fruits are going to leave. He already knows exactly what trees to trim, what branches to get rid of. Like, and he's got you. You just have to let him make room. Like you have to make room for him to make room in your life.
Yeah. If you're not paying attention to him and these things are going, all you're going to see is these things are being taken away from me.
It's not
and
about
being
you.
less about you and a little bit more kingdom focused. Yeah, a little bit more trusting in the Lord and trusting in his plans and what he is going to do with this, even if you don't see the fruit of what he's doing immediately.
Right.
The
Yeah.
branch that he cut off still, like, everything has to grow somewhere else. Like, it has to take time. I know there's been a couple of times in my life. I think one of my most favorite was when one of my friends was like, I really feel like I need to talk to you about this. And I had had no context of the situation before at all. And she basically was like, I've liked this guy on and off, and it's been kind of toxic, and he just really won't commit to me. Story of my high school.
Mm.
I liked a guy for so long, and I pursued it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And even after like I came to Christ, even after like years after, like I think Luke and I had been together for, I honestly think that we were engaged. And like when I first, this girl told me about all of this, and I got to share all of the wisdom that I had learned. And it felt like the literal first time in years that it was like, oh, I could have went through all of that just for this and it was worth it.
That's so
I could
good.
have gone through all of those years and years of pain and just awfulness, and literally just to be able to share this wisdom that the Lord has given me for you to not have to go through that same thing is worth it.
Mm.
But
That's
yeah.
so good. And it's so good when like the circle connects. It's like
Yes, dude, it
it's
happened again today. Shout out Jenny. But it happened again today. I was like, I would have never thought like any of these things. Like, you don't know what the Lord's gonna do with these things that He's pruning. You don't know,
Yeah.
and
And sometimes the
it's
pruning
sometimes it's
sucks.
beautiful. It sucks, and you might not know for years, literally for years, or you might not know for a week. You might not know
Yeah.
for a day. What was? Oh yeah, I quit Cup of Joy. Not. I basically I went into my shift that day, not knowing that I was quitting. Clocked out knowing I was quitting. Wrote my 2 weeks. Came back to work and quit. I didn't know, and I was. Luke was like, I don't know if you should quit. I don't know if you should quit. I was like, Luke, the Lord is telling me I need to quit. Go in and quit, and then whatever, it was a whole big mess. And then a couple days later I had to meet with the GM. I officially was like, no, I don't care what you say, I'm quitting. Officially quit. Go into Cup of Joy, or Luke's Cup of Joy, not my Cup of Joy. And I was just like, I need to just sit here, process through the day, maybe tell Luke a little of what happened. And then I go in and my friend is there and they're playing cards and they're like, oh, come sit with us. Blah, blah, blah. And they were like, how was your day? And I was like, I quit Cuppa. They're all like, what? Right? And I was like, yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to do about money. Like the job that I
Mm.
have right now, which is the interior design job, was, I was like, I'm not going to be making enough for anything, but I know this is what the Lord wanted for me. So I'm just going into it. And like an hour later, my friend was like, wait, the people that I house sit for, like, she needs a personal assistant. And I was like, oh, like, that'd be great. And I
What?
literally started the next day. So now it's
Dang.
a job that I still have, personal assistant. I now house it for them, like, has been one of the most sweetest cultivated relationships of my life. And the Lord was like, yes, quit. And then 2 hours later,
Yeah.
had a job ready for me to start the next day.
But if you weren't obedient and you weren't in
Exactly.
him in that,
If I would have stayed at Cuppa,
yeah, any
yeah,
longer, literally any longer.
literally any longer. Exactly. If
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gone, yeah,
Wow, how beautiful.
He's got things for you, just might not know.
Just where it's like it's okay to let go. It's okay to let go.
It is.
You have to give things up sometimes to make room for what the Lord has for you. Like you have to trust that He's got you.
Not saying that you have to be happy go lucky either,
No.
but definitely, like, it's okay to mourn the things that have been pruned, but it's definitely not okay to dwell
Yeah.
on those things too. So really learning to be able to let go in the sweet spot of like, okay, I can like be okay that this is leaving, but doesn't mean that it's not sad.
Yeah.
I feel like,
feel it, process it, don't live inside.
yeah, I had that with Cuppa too. I am gonna miss a lot of this, and it was really sad. And as much as I was like, yep, out of here, I'm not dealing with this anymore, I'm not being treated like this anymore, as much of that was definitely my story, there was a moment like after I quit where I was like, I actually just like need to mourn this. Like, I have to mourn what this was before it went bad, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, even if that's your story too, where it's like, no, I know that the Lord is pruning this, and thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. But like, it's okay to be like, it was good at one point. I mean, this could be a relationship for you. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, this, like, we've grown to be two different people, and you're not the person that the Lord is calling me to marry. And that's really hard because maybe you do love them, and maybe it is a relationship that, like, you really value, but you know that it's not the right thing, and you know the Lord's calling you to not be in that. It's okay
Yeah.
to mourn what it was before.
But it
Maybe it's
will be
gotten
okay.
toxic.
Yeah.
But it will be okay even through the pain.
It may you yeah, you're not gonna see it. Like, it's the fog. You're not gonna see where you're going. You're not gonna see where your next stop is. But like, if you feel it, Lord taking something out of your life, let him, and
Yep,
it will be okay.
it
You,
will.
you will. I promise. I
Mhm.
promise. If you just abide in him, if you just trust in him and surrender, like, it will. You'll be okay.
Literally, just seek to know his will. You'll be safe in his arms. I feel like I was even kind of saying this earlier. When you learn to trust in the Lord, which I feel like is so hard for me, I'm so close fisted with a lot of things of
Yeah.
like, I have to control everything. I need to make sure that everything goes in line to for it to go well is very much of who I am. And so something that the Lord has pushed on me in growing in my faith has just been like, you need to learn to just relax. And like, I literally think like he's holding his hands there, and I just get to like lay in them. And actually envisioning that for me feels so uncomfortable.
Mm.
Of like, what do you mean like letting go of the like, to actually like rest? Like, think of like going to sleep at night on your bed after a really long day at Disneyland where you're walking around and your feet really hurt, and then you're just like, oh my
But
gosh.
there's zero thoughts in your brain. Like,
Exactly,
you're
zero thoughts, and that's the best sleep that you've ever had because you're exhausted. Like,
yeah.
that is what just being like, okay, Lord, I'm letting go, and I'm just gonna rest in your hands and know that it's okay.
True rest in the Lord, which even despite having chaotic seasons, like, that is you can find true rest in him.
You can try and find true rest in him. What a bar.
Mic drop. Not gonna do that.
For the
You
sake
just
of
hear
for the sake of the listeners' ears, we will not be doing that.
Yeah.
Episode 2, though, you might have been ear blasted by my laughing.
Yeah.
I tried to be better this time. I
You were good.
tried.
I think we should be good.
I tried to hold the mic a little bit farther away.
It's okay though, because if you haven't watched episode 2, shout out, go watch it. It's really good. You cut off your laugh like every time. Like,
I did.
halfway through, you're like, stop.
I was like, because it was gonna blast. Like, my laugh is so loud, it's actually insane. And then the last one, episode 4, that I was by myself, I tried to put on the other like topper, like
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
fluffier one, and I felt like it was too muted. When I was editing it, I felt like
Interesting.
I had to turn it up super hard. So I was like, okay, maybe I use the first one, but I just hold it farther away from my mouth, and we'll be fine.
Let us know if it worked.
So I'm hoping that it worked. I'll probably know by the time this comes out.
Yeah, on
But
Sunday.
it's okay. Yeah, literally on Sunday. That is all I think that we had for today. So if you're going through a pruning season, I hope that this helps.
Yeah.
Or if you start losing things in your life and you're like, what the heck is going on? Maybe it's a pruning season.
Maybe. Or now you have a term for something you went through. You're like,
Yeah.
this is so cool. What happened? I don't know. Pruning season.
Yes, go
You are
read
now
Matthew and John.
a gardener.
You have been pruned. Anyways, thanks for listening, and hopefully we have Rylee on here again soon enough. Have a great week of worship.